Hey there, folks. How y'all doing today? Hope you're having a great day. Before we get into the meat of the video, I just wanted to give a little shout out because I got another mail call. I got me a letter with another very nice and encouraging note in it from a fellow brother in the knife community. And that gentleman is, you ready for this? Mike over at Make Cutlery Great Again. Or is that Make Canada Great Again? No, there's blue there. It's Make Cutlery Great Again. Anyway, those are some pretty wicked stickers. I like that. So if you haven't checked Mike out, and I can't imagine you haven't, or at least heard of him, because he's getting an awful lot of shout outs in the knife community. He's come in strong. And he's got he's just a good dude. He's got a good personality. He's funny. And he's got some really nice knives. And he's doing some testing with some different modifications with knives and whatnot. And he's out there hounding the flea markets and the pawn shops and the antique stores, just like a lot of the guys down in the States that have that awesome option that I wish we had up here. I go to any of those places, I find babies' clothes and used bongs. I mean, what happened? How do we get to this? Anyway, so definitely go check Make Cutlery Great Again. I feel like I've heard that term somewhere before or something like it. I don't know. Anyway, definitely go check him out. He's got some great content, and he's coming hard on the scene in the knife community. He's got some great stuff. So you go check him out. But before you do that, check out this video I'm about to show you. Well, good day, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's Saturday. We made it to the weekend. Hope you all had a great Friday evening, and you got some great plans for today to get out and do some fun stuff and learn some new things, spend some time with family and friends. So being Saturday, once again, we're going to jump on that awesome open tag from Terry over at Terry's Knives and Man Stuff, and that is the Saturday Stockman Stampede. So I got a little bit of an interesting one for today. Before we jump into it, I was going through my attic storage, and I found some neat things. And one of the things I found that I thought was kind of neat that people might have an interest in is this book from 1989, The Shooter's Bible, World Standard Firearms Reference Book. And in it covers all kinds of things. We got some neat ad graphics in the back for some other books. It covers all kinds of things: cleaning kits, ammunition, scopes. We got different old rifles, old handguns, and into wartime stuff and newer stuff. I thought that was a pretty neat book. Anybody into the guns and the firearms and all that kind of stuff, that's pretty neat. And that's number 80, so I'm guessing they made a pile of different ones before this, like 79 of them. Anyway, I thought that was pretty neat. So to add some context to the knife we're going to look at, I've got my father has a friend who's in his 80s, and Teddy's his name. And Teddy sent me over a couple knives because he heard I was collecting knives. And they're not in the best of shape, but there's a good reason for that. It turns out both of them could be pretty old. And the one we're going to look at today is a Stockman, and I guess it would be a full-size Stockman. You can, we'll have a look at the measurements and whatnot here in a second. Now, it is damaged, but it is still pretty neat. And here it is. Now, I'm sure some of you may recognize that shield as a Boker. Now, I figured it was an old knife, just by the looks of it. So And I'm in the process of doing a cleanup on it, mostly just to get the gunk out of it. I'm not going to go crazy with trying to bring it all back to brand new, because it's an old knife, and sometimes an old knife deserves to be an old knife. It deserves to show you the years and it lived and the things it did. And, I think that character is important sometimes. So this one unfortunately has a broken main blade, but there was a pile of gunk in it. If we can see here, and I'll try and get that into focus for you, you can see the tree, and I'll add a picture that shows us better. So you can see the tree there to the left, and then you can see Solingen, Germany. And when you get a good look at it, above that, it says H. Boker. Now, I actually went to the Boker site and looked up their catalog of tang stamps, and I couldn't find anything to exactly match this. And I'll drop some pictures in here of some of the various tang stamps, particularly as they pertain to this one. And I noticed yesterday that over at Rasputin's Castle, Mike did a video on a Boker straight razor from the turn of the 19th century. And it had some similar markings. So I reached out to Michael with a picture, and he got back to me with some information that surprised me a little bit. And I will read exactly what you said. Now, this was based purely on a picture of the tang stamp. I didn't send him a picture of the knife itself. So if he were to have a look at the knife itself, he may have a different assessment, but primarily on the tang stamp. He said the tang stamp was used from 1891 to 1944. The tree next to it dates to 1908. The knife dates from 1891 to 1908. That's an old knife. I was shocked. I figured we might be looking back to the 40s or the 50s maybe, but 1891 to 1908. So I get over and have a chat with Teddy and find out where he got this knife, if this was passed down through his family or somebody senior to him gave it to him in years past. But 1891 to 1908, that's an old knife. It'll certainly be the oldest knife in my collection. But you can see somebody, I think, tried to do a little prying with the main blade. It has no action to it anymore whatsoever. And you can see the spring is depressed. So it's not really connecting with the spring. The spring is not moving at all. If we have a look here, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious that the tang is shorter on the main blade than the secondary blade. And I don't know if that's a break or just wear and tear or whatnot. But you can see too, there's some markings here and some markings here and like a depression right in here. That makes me think somebody tried to squeeze it or pound it, maybe to get the action back. Maybe it was really loose, but that wasn't successful. The other blades still have an amazing amount of stamp for their age, but this poor fella right here is just languishing. And you can feel some tightness here with both of these blades at this end. So again, that makes me think somebody tried to compress it, either by hammering it or squeezing it in a vise maybe or something like that. But as unfortunate as that is, it's still pretty awesome if this knife is that old, especially considering the rest of the condition. I mean, look at the handles on it. It still has the shield for that old. Springs all look good. maybe a little bit of gapping over here, but that could just be stepping too, because that spring is depressed. The rest of your blade alignment, very good, and you can see that main blade probably was aligned really well too. But let's have a look at what else is there. So you've got your sheep's foot blade with some really good snap to it. No half stop. Again, this one's tight here, again, which makes me think they tried to compress that bolster. Listen to that snap on the close. And then over here we have your pen blade. Super snap. You just listen to that. I got brand new knives that don't snap that well. And the blades are, I mean, there's plenty of meat left on those blades. So perhaps the main blade broke early in the life of the knife, and somebody just put it away and didn't use it anymore. There's no markings on the other blades. I don't believe I remember there being any markings on those. Oh, there's a tree on that one. Nothing on the tree again on this one. That's interesting. Does it say anything there? No, just the tree. But the blades, aside from the patina, are in great shape. All I did was just clean the gunk off of them. I gave it a good soak in some rust remover, then a real good soak in some mineral oil, and then just proceeded to start cleaning gunk out of it. And there was lots of that. But just listen to that. Beautiful snap. You can see the, there we go with words again. That thing over there. You can see that on this bolster, but not on this one. If you open it up, go inside. I got the channel cleaned out pretty good. You can actually, if you look here, see that in there? There's a cutaway in there. And there are two hooks that come off the back of the shield and just wrap around in there. That's what's holding that shield in. That is, I mean, that shield is tight as can be. But your pins, there you go. How could I not think of the word pins? Don't get old, it sucks. You can see the pivot pin here. And you can see these pins here these ones are all pretty flush. This one here is raised a bit, and that could just be the covers shrinking over time. But, I mean, just, if this knife is really that old, that is just unreal to me. I mean, literally, the living example of they don't make them like they used to. But look at the covers. I have to think it's bone. I mean, again, I'm not an expert on all these things. I don't know when Delrin came into fashion, but look at that. Just the pattern on the edge of I mean, that just looks really, really super. I don't think, yeah, the pattern is different on both sides. Oh. I don't know. I'm just wowed with this knife. That it's that old, and man, if that main blade was still intact. But even regardless, that's just a super example of how well things used to be made. The knife itself, if we want to look at some measurements, is pretty much exactly 4 inches long. Your spade blade is 2 inches long with a little over 1.5 inches, almost 1 2/3 cutting surface. Your sheep's hoof is just shy of 2 inches, and again about 1 2/3 cutting surface. Now, I didn't try and sharpen the blades or anything, and I don't know that I will, because this isn't going to be a user, so why do any more wear and tear on the blades than are necessary? I have to assume that the blades are carbon, just by the coloring of the patina, and I would assume the same of the back springs. Probably nickel silver for your bolsters, and your pins are either nickel, silver, or steel, I imagine. They don't look to be brass, but I would think they'd have more of a patina to them with that age if they were brass. And I would guess nickel silver for your shield as well. But I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it other than wow. Really just well made, potentially extremely old knife. I just want to sit here and just keep working the action on those blades. Really cool patina on it too. You can see some gouging there, like almost like a grinder or something got at it, but a little bit of a swedge there on that side. Basic nail nick. Just the blades are in great shape. Anyhow, folks, I'm just sitting here just amazing myself looking at it, so I won't waste any more of your time with that. But that is this week's contribution to the Saturday Stockman Stampede. I hope you enjoyed looking at it as much as I do. And if you have any information about this, please throw that in the comments below, because I'd love to hear it. If you got any big-time Boker fans or collectors out there that might know a little bit about it, then that would be awesome. Yeah, okay. I'm going to let you folks go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider tapping that like button. And if you have any information, anything you'd like to contribute about this knife, then I would certainly love to hear it. And, certainly throw down what you think I should do with it. I don't intend to do much more. I'm going to leave all that patina on it. And I thought, what if I could replace that blade? But I mean, that's where the tank stamp is. That is what shows how old this knife is. So I certainly don't want to replace that. Had it been one of these blades, maybe, but not the main blade. Anyway, folks, I hope you're having an awesome Saturday. Get out there, hunt down some knives at yard sales, or get out in the woods and just enjoy the woods. Enjoy the sounds, enjoy nature. Maybe watch a YouTube video on a wilderness technique of some kind and go try it out for yourself. But if it's dry where you are, don't play with fire. Y'all take care.